Yetis, welcome back. This week we are going to write our character reflection for your portfolio. And so your character reflection, I've kind of saved this one till the end because this is really going to be truly a reflection essay, but it's going to be really not reflecting upon as much of your experiences as it's going to be reflecting upon who you are and who you were and who you want to be. So you're gonna have to look into yourself for this paper. Okay, so as we have been doing, we're going to write a reflective essay. Our same lesson objectives here: introducing our topic, using details of our experiences to share our knowledge, and to reflect and share personal growth during a significant experience. So again, same notes. Go back to my previous video if you need to get those. But here's your assignment for this week. You are going to write a one-page minimum reflection on your character. Remember that your character is who you are. At the core, when we strip away all the extraneous stuff, who are you? That is your character. Okay? So you're going to have three components to this paper. Who were you before you came to Snowy Peaks? Who are you now? And what kind of person do you want to become? So past, present, future. All right? If you want to write this paper, that's great. If you wanted to do a Flipgrid assignment or record it as a speech, I thought that might be a cool way to have you present this. So if you want to do it as like a recorded topic, that'd be pretty cool. So, what we're doing here, guys, is essentially, we start, those of you who have been with us, we start every year, we put a panel of students up and we have them talk about their experience. And that's almost exactly what we're doing here, is that like panel discussion that we do at the beginning of the year about why you came to Snowy Peaks and who you are and stuff like that. And what ends up happening is students get up there and they say, man, this is the person I was, this is who I am now, and these are the goals that I have for the future. So we're kind of putting that into our portfolio. All right, so in your introduction, you're going to introduce the topic of character. Remember, the character, your character, is at the core of who you are as a person. Okay? At Snowy Peaks, we focus on 4 character qualities. We talk about responsibility, which is taking ownership over your life, taking ownership over your success, taking responsibility for your life. We talk about respect as being part of our character, is that we always expect us to promote dignity and respect in our lives. We talk about being curious and having a sense of wonder for the world and wanting to learn. We talk about being creative, and that's nurturing our inventiveness and our imagination in our lives. All of those are sub-components to our character, who we are. We're responsible, respectful, curious, and creative at Snowy Peaks. Okay, so your introduction paragraph is just going to give us an introduction to the topic of character. And I've laid out some ideas here for you. Okay, so your first body paragraph is going to be, who were you? Who were you before you came to Snowy Peaks? What kind of person were you? How did you feel about yourself at this time in your life? What kind of actions and decisions were you making? Were you happy with who you were? Was there room for growth? And sorry for the typo there. And what did you learn from these years? Okay, so on the left here, you see a picture of Smith in his tie-dye shirt. These are all my buddies from high school. And as you know about my high school years, man, I had a great time, but I probably had too good of a time. And I wasn't really the best person. And I felt like the need to change that was there. And I needed to change that. I was getting in a lot of trouble and making a lot of poor decisions. And while I had a good group of friends, I was pretty happy. I think at the root of it, I knew that I needed to be better than who I was to accomplish the goals that I had. And in those years, I learned a lot about friendship and I learned a lot about myself. But most importantly, I think I learned that if I didn't make some changes, I wasn't going to get to where I wanted to be. Okay. Who are you now? Describe, analyze, and critique. Notice we're putting kind of all those subtopics that we used in our other reflective papers, we're putting them all into one paragraph now. Okay, so this is your second body paragraph of reflect on who you are now. And by now, we mean who you are right this minute, or you could kind of talk about who you've been in the past year or a couple years at Snowy Peaks. Okay. So who are you now? What kind of growth have you made? How do you feel about this person that you've become in this time of your life? Are you proud of that person? Do you feel like there's still room to grow? Yeah, critique. Who are you? Um, and how do you feel about it? And then analyze. What have you learned from these years? Okay. So what I did was I skipped ahead a few years in my life, and this is a picture of me and my wife. This was before we had any kids. This was before we were married. And the kind of person that I became was really more along the lines of the person that I wanted to be. I was working as a teacher. I was almost engaged to the girl of my dreams. I was trying to live my best life and be my best self. Because it was starting to point me in the direction of all the stuff that I really wanted. I was moving into promotions and a principal job and running my own school, and all these changes that I had made in my life started to pay off, and I started to see all the good things in my life start to come to fruition because of the changes that I had made. But I still had a long way to go. I knew that I wanted to be even better than I was right in that picture. Okay. And then who do I aspire to be, or who do you aspire to be, will be your next body paragraph. All right. So 3 body paragraphs. Who were you? Who are you? And then who do you want to be? Okay. So what kind of person do you want to be in the future? What kind of person do you hope to be? What kind of goals do you hope to accomplish? How are you going to gauge your happiness and success in your life? If you think about your life 10 years from now, how will you know that you're happy? How will you know that you're successful? All right. And trust me, that doesn't have to be about money, right? I think a lot of times we equate money with success whenever I think there's a lot of ways to be successful, right? What kind of impact do you hope to make on the world? And what kind of legacy do you hope to leave with your life? And so for me, the person that I want to be in the future is ultimately I want to be the best father and model for these 2 little girls that I can be. That is ultimately my life goal is to raise my girls and play a valuable role in my family. And what I hope is if they live a happy and successful life and they continue smiling like they are in that picture, then I know that I've been successful in my life. And the legacy I hope to make on the world is, I think, working with each one of you students, is that someday I hope somebody can say about me that I made other people's lives better. And that's my ultimate goal. What kind of legacy do I hope to leave? Again, I hope that someday somebody says, Mr. Smith did something to help me and make my life better. And that's just me. Your goals may be very different, but that's what I aspire to be. Okay, so then you will wrap up your paper with a conclusion, bring all your points together, kind of reflect on your main lessons that you have learned through this paper, and and wrap it up with your conclusion. Okay, so that's really this week's assignment. It's going to be pretty simple. Again, you're just going to lay out an introduction to character. Who are you, or what is character? Remember, character is at the core of who you are. Who were you? Who are you now? Who do you aspire to be? All right, so this is your last assignment. I think for the portfolio, we may work on your resume and stuff next week, but this, I think, is the last paper we're going to write. So congrats. Love you guys, miss you guys. Thanks for your patience this morning. I've had a little bit of an off couple days here, but I'm getting back on it. All right, let me know if you need any help. We'll talk to you soon.